Sometimes when I'm doing the service, in my head I'm already at my favorite destination or dreaming that I want to be anywhere but here!
Abrasive vibration that rattled the floorboards. Luis gripped the handle of the service trolley, his fingers locking tight against the metal. Across from him, Gloria braced her hip against the frame, her eyes scanning the narrow, crowded aisle ahead. A passenger in row 12 slammed a tray table down, the plastic snapping loudly, while a child kicked the seat behind him with rhythmic, jarring force. Luis took a breath, held it, and exhaled slowly. He caught Gloria's eye. She did not blink. She shifted her weight, a subtle adjustment of balance, and gave a single sharp nod. They were a team under siege, and the aisle was their battlefield. Luis fixed a practiced, steady smile onto his face, masking the tension in his jaw. Gloria mirrored the expression, her posture stiffening into a state of absolute readiness. With a synchronized shove, they forced the heavy trolley forward, the wheels screeching against the carpet as they abandoned the safety of the galley. The noise hit them like a physical weight, but they stepped into the center of the chaos, moving as one, prepared to face the surge of passengers waiting in the rows ahead. The metal frame of the trolley rattled as Luis steered it into the narrow gap between the seats. He kept his eyes ahead, his grip firm on the handle as he dodged a flailing bag strap hanging into the walkway. Gloria moved in perfect sync, sliding a cup of coffee onto a tray and grabbing a soda can from the rack in one fluid, practiced motion. Her hands were a blur of efficiency against the rising din of the cabin. Suddenly, a man in 14C stood up, effectively blocking their path. He waved his boarding pass inches from Luis, his voice rising in an aggressive demand. Luis stopped the trolley instantly, the wheels locking with a sharp click. Gloria did not hesitate. She stepped forward, placing a firm, steady hand on the edge of the metal cart. She locked eyes with the man, her expression unyielding, and pointed toward his seat. The man grumbled, his shoulders dropping, and he retreated back into his chair. Luis seized the open space, rolling the trolley forward with a pivot that put them back on track. They moved deeper into the aisle, their rhythm unbroken, the momentum shifting back into their control as they bypassed the obstruction. The overhead lights flickered once, twice, then dimmed to a low, pulsing hum. Jagged shadows stretched across the cabin floor, turning the aisles into a shifting maze of neon blues and harsh, dark reds. The noise intensified, a rising tide of demands and complaints that pressed against the walls. More passengers surged forward from their seats, hands outstretched, blocking the narrow walkway. Luis and Gloria reacted instantly. Their movements sharpened, becoming a blur of precision. One poured, one collected, their arms crossing and uncrossing in a seamless, mechanical rhythm. They did not speak. The roar of the cabin made words useless. Luis pushed the trolley faster, his knuckles tight on the handle as he navigated the shifting bodies. Gloria reached over the cart, grabbing trash and handing out drinks with a speed that defied the cramped space. The air grew thick, heavy with the scent of recycled oxygen and rising frustration. Every second felt like a battle against the shrinking space. They were no longer just moving through the cabin. They were carving a path through a storm. Their eyes remained locked on the task, ignoring the chaos as they pushed deeper, their speed increasing to match the frantic energy of the rows ahead. They hit the center of the cabin, the epicenter of the commotion. A passenger lunged for a cup, missed, and sent liquid splashing across the floor. The cart shuddered to a halt. Luis did not blink. He dropped to one knee, grabbed a handful of napkins, and wiped the floor in two sharp, aggressive swipes. He retrieved a fresh bottle from the rack, stood, and shoved the cart forward before the next passenger could complain. Gloria was already moving. She pivoted away from the trolley, her focus shifting to a woman in the corner row who was clutching a crying child. Gloria leaned in, blocking the woman from the aisle traffic, and offered a steadying hand. Their teamwork was mechanical, flawless, and frantic. Luis poured drinks while Gloria managed the crowd, their eyes scanning every seat, every hand, every movement. They were a machine under pressure, ignoring the roar of the cabin. Luis handed a tray across the aisle, his grip never wavering. Gloria stepped back, rejoined the cart, and the two resumed their forward pace. They moved through the center, leaving a wake of quieted passengers and cleared trays behind them, their movements synchronized against the rising noise of the flight. The final row approached. Luis pushed the cart past the last seat, his arms aching from the sustained tension. The roar of the cabin, once a deafening barrier, began to thin, replaced by a sudden, cooling silence. He stepped into the small galley space at the rear of the cabin and jammed the locking brake down. The trolley stopped with a sharp metallic click that echoed in the quiet space. Luis pulled a cloth from his pocket and wiped the heavy beads of sweat from his brow, his breathing finally slowing to a steady, rhythmic pace. Gloria stood opposite him, the empty cart between them. She reached out, secured the last latch on the rack, and looked up. Their eyes met. For a long moment, nobody spoke. The chaos had been absolute, yet they had dismantled it piece by piece. Luis offered a slow, sharp nod, and Gloria returned it, a silent confirmation that the work was done. They stood still in the narrow space, the cabin now quiet, the mission accomplished. The storm had passed, leaving only the steady hum of the engines and the shared understanding of the effort they had just expended together.
Some flights are awful.
Boarding calls and tired eyes, another red eye in disguise. Chicken or beef on repeat, while they click fingers from their seats. Champagne spills and duty free. Miss, I asked for 2, not 3. 30,000 feet I breathe, but there's no air left for me. I serve the sky, I hold the line through every storm, through every time, but all I hear is more, more, more. Take me down to Bali skies, where the ocean meets the light, where the people smile so wide, but they're hurting deep inside. Yeah, they bow their heads so kind, while the chaos passes by. Paradise you'll never see, through the noise of gimme, gimme. Touching down, the heat hits low, frangipani in the glow. Scooters hum, the temples breathe, something sacred underneath. But then the loudest cuts the air, sunburned skin, bleached blonde hair, binting shirts and shouting names, turning